this is my finalized LoA-ON and spring roadmap wish list. I wanted to come up with possible solutions for changes that I think could be implemented pretty quickly without having to add a lot of resources or assets or anything like that, but just tweaking some of the things that they already have or adding some of the things that they've already done into the game. First up are the horizontal changes that I would love to see come into the game. And the biggest change I'd want to see is that instead of having checkpoints for your card set buff, each awakening that you get a little bit more of that damage buff or a little bit more of whatever property that card set provides you. That way it will give you plenty of incentive and will actually still feel really good every time you get an additional awakening, as well as adding in some more important legendary cards to the better card sets in the game to their respective location, wherever they want to put them. Just give us more options to get them from wandering merchants, etc. And as far as runes and skill point potions go, front load these into the horizontal content. This would make it easier for those people that are just wanting the vertical rewards, while also keeping the horizontal rewards in the game for the people who truly do enjoy that content. As far as hell content, stop making me use battle items to get in there and really give it a good shot, because for people especially who are just trying to find groups and pugging, I know whenever Hell Vaulting came out, this was one of the main reasons I did not want to do this, is because it costs so many battle items sitting there using purple pots, wiping, using all your bombs, everything like that. That was a concern, and I didn't want to spend that. I think that for this very niche content of the game, you should eliminate the battle item usage and also give better rewards. For example, I would love to see this. I'm a little bit biased because I want to see more glows in the game and have selectable glows, etc. Maybe even customizable glows. Oh my lord, that'd be so sick. But I would be super psyched if, for example, you beat Hell Clown and you get a really cool glow. Maybe it's looking more like flames and it's kind of orange and red, maybe a little bit yellow thrown in there, whatever it is, and you can equip that on whatever character from your roster that you'd like. I feel like that would be really cool, and they already have glows built in the game, so I'm sure that they could utilize that asset, change the colors around, add a little bit of oomph to it, and call it great. And I would be super excited to jump into Hell. I'd be much more enticed to do that if those were some things that they changed. For the vertical changes, there's a couple of them, so we'll just start with the fact that honing a con gear is not really fun. And in my opinion, honing used to be really fun because you go through the week, you get your materials, you get a lot of taps, and you would get to rank up. It feels good to move up an eye level and continually progress in that way. But honing a con gear right now does not feel fun. It feels punishing. And this is especially true because of how far it can set you back in your progression if you get a little bit of bad luck, or maybe if you pity a piece or multiple pieces, you're getting set back weeks or months even, depending on the rate of your bad luck. And that really sucks. Just ruins the fun of honing and progressing in that region of this game. And the biggest problem that I personally have with this is that you're still honing to get to eye level content that's in the game. You're not progressing beyond that. I get it if it's really hard to progress past your necessary on eye level requirements for in-game activities. For when you're going past 1620, I understand that it's going to be really tough and it's going to cost exponentially more. That's fine. But just progressing to get through to actually do the in-game activities that are available, I feel like is very discouraging. So one thing that they could change that would be very easy is to just reduce the amount of taps it takes to pity. That way, the difference between an average percentage of luck and getting that hone successful and pitting is much less. So for me, I would really love to see them make 1580 the new standard zone, where it's pretty easy to push to. We are going to have 3 activities at 1580 or beyond after Voldus comes out. So we'll have Voldus, we'll have Kind Go Hard, and we will have a Con Hard and normal, of course, at 1580. Speaking to that, I feel like they need to add more honing buffs in to your alts whenever your main has surpassed a certain eye level. I remember at a time in the game where there were different milestones that you would reach on your main character, and then you got that extra honing buff from the stronghold. It felt good, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna go hone my alts now. I finally got to that point. And then you would hone them for whatever honing buff that it allowed you to, and then kind of keep pushing your main, and you know, it'd feel good to reach that new milestone and then bring your alts up so that they could join him and play. I feel like that's not really happening in the game anymore, and it feels so punishing to hone up alts and keep experiencing that same thing. This is an alt heavy game, and just as a very simple solution, the Path of the Soul Eater event was amazing, and that is because it allowed you to get to 1580 pretty dang cheap compared to what is now. You had better honing rates, it cost less for honing, and you were able to pity much faster, and it felt really nice. Even though you did typically pity more pieces than you normally would, you also progressed way faster. I'm a fan of that. I do not know why that is not already literally in the game for your alts, especially. Maybe not on your main character, I get that, but for your alts, if you've already reached 1580 main, or maybe make that milestone like I just talked about 1600, and then you can hone up all your people, and that's what they get as a reward. Is it gets much cheaper to hone in that way, like the Path of the Soul Eater was. They get the honing buffs, all that, plus they get more raid materials from a con. Why is it still taking me months to get a con gear when this is my 5th character, or 6th character, or 3rd character, or whatever it is, and my main's already freaking 1620 and way past that content? Why is it still taking so long? It seems like a silly thing to me. Another thing that I would love to see changed is that the gold earning activities that you do per week be reduced from 3 to 2. And alongside that, the gold also increased to make up for that change, possibly giving you 1 Legion Commander raid and 1 Abyssal dungeon to do. You can pretty much take a character at any eye level past 1500 or so and look at the 3 events that they're doing, and the bottom one is always kind of smudge for where they're at in the game. If you take a 1520, for example, you're doing Brel normal, then you're doing Clown at 1475, and you're doing Vicus at 1460. You're so far above that. Why are you still doing that raid? For gold. If you want to do it for fun, I get that, but it doesn't really make much sense. Or even worse, when you're 1550, 1560, and you're literally still doing Clown for gold, and you're 100 eye levels above it, basically. This is weird. I don't think that that should be in the game. So an easy fix that, in my opinion, they could make, change the gold values and reduce the gold earning activities to 2. Lastly, add in some type of character change ticket or something like that. I don't know why I have to buy another character slot to build a character that you're giving me an event to make on my roster, but in reality, I just don't want to play a certain character I've already leveled up. I just want to switch that character and play the new one. Why can't I do that? It seems like a weird thing that there's not something similar to this that's being implemented in the game. Hopefully there is, and they're working on it, but yeah, it just feels kind of weird. As far as daily and weekly changes go, we have so many freaking things to log in for right now that give us incentive to log in. You know, on their end, they want us to log in every day, and I get that, but we have like 15 million freaking things worth of incentive to log in for. So I would love to see them combine the Una's dailies into your Chaos Dungeon and Guardian Raid rewards, and then keep the Una weeklies, make them a little bit more impactful so they actually seem like they're there for a reason, as well as actually presenting the non-Band-Aid fix for the Chaos Dungeons. If you remember, they said it was a work in progress and this was the first change, but where's the rest of it? Where's the talk of the rest of it? We don't even know. They're just kind of settling on where it's at right now. And if you're not going to change anything about it yet, then at least just reduce it to 1, because doing 2 per day is getting old as hell. And the last daily and weekly thing I would love to see them change is the weekly Challenge Guardians and Abyssal Dungeons. This activity feels like pure dog poop. It does not feel good to rerun an activity that I've already surpassed many times over with many different alts that I've already done hundreds of times, but then you nerf my character while I go into that said activity. It feels terrible. Why would I want to hone up my character, juice the hell out of them, play them, love them, and then get nerfed into the ground, and none of that matters, and I have to play through this weird dungeon that's not fun. Do something about that, or just stop nerfing me when I do go into it. I don't know, it's just a weird thing, so please change that. Moving on to the guild and miscellaneous stuff. Being in a guild feels pretty unimportant, which is really weird because this is an MMO. Community is supposed to be important, and I'm sure that some changes surrounding guilds would not just make me happy, but a lot of other people happy as well, and bring a little bit more of that community back into the game, or that community feel back into the game. So I would love to see one guild per roster. I don't know why I have 6 characters that I play and I have 6 different guilds that I'm in. That feels weird. If you made it one guild per roster, that would eliminate a lot of the alt guilds and the guilds that don't really do a whole lot, and actually put an importance on being in a real guild and make that community guild feel much more apparent. Also, make a guild stronghold or a guild hangout somewhere that is exclusive to your guild. You can customize it, maybe you can make your feast there, whatever it is. Make a little special place to hang out with your guild. That'd be super cool. In my opinion, I would have a lot of fun with that. Another good change would be to rework the Bloodstone and guild payouts, because as of right now, you can basically get the same amount of Bloodstones paid out to you in an alt guild that is pretty dormant. You're not really doing anything. You can get the same amount of Bloodstones from there as being in a very active guild with a lot of members doing raids and sieges every single week. For example, because you're in a bigger guild, you have to pay out more Bloodstones because you're splitting them between more members. Thus, it makes it harder to balance the amount that you're actually paying out to the guild members, plus keeping them for your guild and being able to do research and that whole balance. I feel like the scaling, from what I'm hearing from guild leaders, including my own, it just isn't very good, and it's not very conducive to being in a higher number, very active guild that's doing these weekly activities. And this goes for the gold payouts for certain activities as well. For example, when we do Altision, we could have 20 to 30 people show up, and the gold payout for that is pretty minimal. We'll win and only get 2,000 to 3,000 gold. Yet we can go on an alt guild and do snow paying with 6 to 8 people, or maybe 10 people show up, whatever, and we're getting 5,000 gold or more. Sometimes we're getting 7 or 8k gold per person. Seems kind of weird, doesn't it? So I feel like maybe some of the scaling with the Bloodstones, the gold, the activities, all that maybe needs to be looked at. And last but not least, can we please be doing something to get rid of these bots, and the numbers that they're coming in at is getting kind of out of hand right at this moment, as well as the RMT issue. But that kind of brings up a whole nother realm of conversation into currencies and everything like that. So I don't necessarily want to do that, but the biggest thing is just the bots. Holy crap. Can we do something about the bots? But guys, those were my main things that I wanted to go over for. Hopefully we'll see a LoA-ON or shortly into the new year 2024. That would be so sick if we were to see some of these changes. I'm super excited for the future of Lost Ark, if I'm going to be 100% honest. And I want to hear from you. What are some things that you would love to see going forward for the next couple months into the game that would impact your playtime a lot, or maybe the people around you? I would love to hear back from you and hear some of your ideas, solutions maybe, or just what you're struggling with in the game right now. But that is the end of the video. Don't forget to catch me on my live streams on Twitch on Sunday, or you can watch over here on YouTube as well. I will be going live this Sunday. We're going to be reacting to everything that's going on at LoA-ON. I will see you over on Twitch, or of course you can join the community Discord. It's a fun and positive environment to hang out in, so feel free to join the Discord as well. And if you'd like to, consider subscribing to the channel. But that is everything, and I will see you on the next video.